That kicked ass.
Good morning, folks. How's everybody feeling this morning? I'm Susie Snowshore. I'm going to be announcing for today along with all of the road team. Thanks so much for coming on.
And good morning, everybody. I am Bob Noctis, sitting alongside the one and only Terminal City's end destruction.
That's right. Hi, Bob.
And we're back at it again this morning after a day of roller derby yesterday, and we have worked ourselves down here at the Western Regionals, the Clash in the Kootenays, down to our final four teams. You are about to watch the 3-4 game, and we are going to see Edmonton's very own E-Ville against the Red Deer Belladonnas.
I'm pretty excited about this game, Bob. Both these teams have shown what they're made of this weekend. Some highs, some lows, some things we didn't expect, but we're certainly going to see some excellent roller derby this morning. Bright and early on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's amazing how short the evenings become when you wrap up a tournament at night. But I tell you, it's been a very exciting weekend. I think we've seen some really, really great performances. And of course, the thing that you and I have talked about before is how much we've enjoyed watching people progress as they've gone through this tournament. We can talk about Damage Inc. as one of those teams. They come in, they take they really have a really tough first round draw. They come back, they win their next game, they end up in the 5-6 game, which they didn't end up winning last night. But nonetheless, great performance. We see people like Stitch Ripper who look like totally different players by the time the end of the tournament comes around, and that's what's so gratifying about this sport.
Yeah, clearly Oil City has a good future ahead of them, especially with all the potential and all the talent they've got on that team. If they start working together as a cohesive travel team instead of a pickup team, they've got a lot of great things to look forward to.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, as we were talking about before too, I think conditioning really kind of came into it toward the end. They just looked more winded than Red Deer did, and Red Deer took it to them. And when you've got three jammers that are equally as capable of putting up points as Red Deer does, it makes it pretty tough when your defense is out there most of the time with maybe a short bench trying to hold that back.
Yeah, it sure does. I was expecting a little more from Red Deer out of the game against Kootenays yesterday. Everybody had that one pegged as a pretty close one, a bit of a nail biter, and it didn't turn out that way at all, unfortunately, for Red Deer. Kootenay just used their fitness and their conditioning and their teamwork to take down Red Deer in a pretty major way. So hopefully Red Deer took some things away from that game, and they're going to use them in this game against E-Ville.
And of course, we started this on Friday. We started this with our preliminary rounds. This is an 8-team tournament. These are the 8 top-ranked teams in the West that are playing each other. We do know that the finals today, which will take place at 11 o'clock after this game, will feature Terminal City against Kootenay. Both those teams will advance to the national championship tournament that will be played next spring. But we will still play it down to a championship of the West or of the Western region. And basically, I think that 1 and 2, depending on how they finish, is going to be used more for seeding purposes than anything else.
Yeah, also probably for some bragging rights too. Like you said, we know both those teams are going to nationals, but
I'm number 1. You're
exactly.
number 2.
There's nothing wrong with bragging about being number 1.
That's right. Yeah, well, if you're going to get to brag about anything, it should be about being number 1.
First game of the day, third, fourth place game.
All right, looks like we're getting started here. Everybody lining up on the jam line to start this bout.
And certainly no surprise that we're going to see Tron up against Chariot Auto Fire.
We've got Red Deer Belladonnas here wearing purple jerseys today, and E-Ville from Edmonton are wearing black and green.
And for those of you that might be new to the game, we don't have a ball, we don't have a puck. Basically, we score by passing people. The girls behind what we call the jammer line at the very end with the stars on the helmets are the jammers.
Control, and all these teams are doing these things on purpose.
And we're going to see Gunpowder Gertie is out first there, Andy. And she's not only going to get around, she's going to get her scoring pass in. And she immediately puts up 4 points. So for every player that she passes after that initial run, She picks up 4 points. She calls off the jam, and it's going to be a 4-1 run for the Belladonnas. What they're going to see here is we take a look at we've got 8 girls out there that comprise the pack, 4 blockers for each team. They line up between the 2 lines. You see the pivot line towards the back. The jammer line towards the back, the pivot line towards the front. And you can see as they start to move, as the last one crosses that pivot line, they release the jammers.
That's right. And when we talk about a pivot is the player in the pack that has a stripe on her helmet. She's a special blocker in that if the jammer decides she doesn't want to jam anymore, she can pass the helmet cover to the pivot, and the pivot can take over as a jammer. And
Tron comes out as lead jammer. Not only is she through the pack one time, she's through the pack a second time, and she's going to pick up 4 points. They're going to change it to 5. And we call that a grand slam. That's a point for every person that she has passed blocking as well as lapping the jammer. That's going to be another grand slam. She's got 10 points. And Andy, as you and I both know, that's a pretty good run when you to get started with.
Great defensive move on the inside by the Red Deer blockers, hitting her to the inside, making her come in the back. Looks like she may have picked up a major track cut for coming in front of more than one person.
And you see that Negative Nancy, the jammer for the Belladonnas, had ended up serving a 1-minute major penalty in the box, which is why Tron had the run of the track. And Negative Nancy's through right now, so that's only her first pass.
She did, again, come in front of more than one person from the out-of-bounds area, which will get her back in the box for a major penalty, cutting the track.
And just before she cuts the track, Tron cuts the track. Both jammers are in the penalty box. What they will do now is they are going to release Tron, as they don't play the game without jammers out on the track.
I'm not exactly sure why they aren't releasing the other jammer, which is what they're supposed to do as soon as the first jammer sits down.
Unless she committed multiple fouls, which is possible.
So it looks like Edmonton picked up 10 points in that jam, 0 points for Red Deer.
And we're going to see Kamikaze step up right now. Now, the Red Deer jammer has been penalized. She has to sit in the penalty box for the remainder of her 1-minute penalty, which will not start again until the jam has started, which is right now.
This gives Edmonton a power play, which means that they will probably want to slow things down and open up a lot of holes for their jammer.
And sure enough, there they go. Kamikaze is going to be your lead jammer. And we know how explosive the Belladonnas can be, but they can't be very explosive point-wise when the only person who can score on the team is sitting in the penalty box.
Can't score points if you're sitting in the box, Bob. Kamikaze's made a really impression on me this weekend. I don't know about you. She's been a great double-duty player. She's a very strong blocker.
Absolutely.
She's also a great go-to jammer when they need somebody to throw in. She's very powerful. She jams like a blocker, which is always a great quality to have, and she calls it off.
So Negative Nancy makes it through the pack, but it's really of no consequence, as Kamikaze was already lead jammer. She scores her points. She's going to call off the jam. And right now it's penalties that are killing the Belladonnas, and the score is 20-4 in favor of E-Ville.
23:40 left in this first period. In flat track roller derby, we play 2 30-minute periods. Chariot of Fire is jamming for Red Deer. She's been very impressive this weekend as well.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how new she is to roller derby, but she certainly has some skating skill in her background somewhere.
Yeah, I think you really kind of pegged it when you talked about the fact that you thought she was probably a hockey player. And there they released the 2 jammers.
Do you know what ringette is, Bob?
Do I know what?
Do you know what ringette is?
No, I don't.
It's a Canadian thing. It's like somebody decided that hockey was too dangerous for girls, so instead they gave them a stick and a hoop.
Oh, didn't know that.
It's a pretty cool little spark, though.
And we've got a jammer out in front, and that is going to be from E-Ville, and that is going to be Winnie the Puta. Chariot of Fire having a heck of a time.
Whoa! Great balance and footwork, staying on her feet despite the obstacles thrown in her way.
Oh, Winnie the Puta absolutely held up there. You can see it right in the front of your screen as she takes off. In the meantime, Chariot of Fire, she's going to enter towards the back. And she thought she had an opening. They closed it up very quickly. And Chariot of Fire held up very well. Not an easy player to contain by any way, shape, or form.
Looks like E-Ville picked up 2 points in that jam only. 1 point for Red Deer. And we've got Latron again on the line for E-Ville.
And it's going to be Gunpowder Gertie. They cross the pivot line, and they're going to let the two jammers go. Gunpowder Gertie going to find a seam to the inside. In the meantime, Tron's going to get knocked inside. She can't pass from that position, so she goes around to the back. And you can see Tron there stuck behind a 2-wall.
Gunpowder Gertie pushed her way to the front of the pack and drew those two Edmonton blockers out of play.
And look at Tron just get worked as she finally is able to break through. And Gunpowder Gertie's going to come through. And what kind of score did we get out of that one, Andy? Is that goose eggs?
Looked like 2 goose eggs to me, Bob. Nope. Yep, 2 goose eggs. That's not a bad thing, actually. Going away from a jam 0-0 is actually a nice, safe defensive move, especially if the other jammer's in front of you.
Yep. And one thing that you want to remember, again, if you're watching this for the first time, they get their first pass. Once the lead jammer is declared, they have the ability to call off the jam anytime they want to, but sometimes it's done defensively as much as it is offensively.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Risque. What's happening over on your end of town?
Good. I've got these 2 lovely ladies from Kelowna with me. I've got Ruby Roughhauser and Queen of the Effin' World. How are you guys? Universe. Oh, Universe. Sorry, not of the world. And we're watching the semifinals here. So who are you guys cheering for?
I'm cheering for E-Ville.
Belladonna's.
And what do you guys think of the game so far?
It's great. A lot of really great hits, which I really like watching.
Perfect. Are you guys looking forward to the championships, which is next?
Absolutely.
And who are you cheering for?
Terminal City? Can I say that here?
I don't know. I'm a fan of the Cannibals. I like Terminal City too.
It's going to be a tight game, I think, because both those teams have looked amazing throughout the tournament.
They play a really different game. Terminal City is really precise and precision, and Cannibals are really hard hitting, so I'm really excited to see which one wins out.
Perfect. And will you be disappointed if someone loses or wins?
No, it's Derby.
Everyone wins in Derby.
We're all cheering for Derby, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Back to you guys.
Thank you. That's the lovely Risque Bisnat. She is a fellow announcer with me at Terminal City in Vancouver, a former member of Public Frenemy and the Terminal City All-Stars. So she pretty much does everything. We're just finishing up here with our official timeout. You'll see that fella standing in front of the pack tapping his shoulders. That's the signal for an official timeout, which is not the same as a team timeout. Team timeouts last 1 minute, and official timeouts, they can take as long as they want because they're the boss. Here we go, getting this jam started. Looks like they got things sorted out. We've got Negative Nancy jamming again for Red Deer. Red Deer's deciding to take a knee, which will force the referees to call no pack, and the jammers will get started right away. Kamikaze jamming for E-Ville. Negative Nancy in the lead, but she gets hung up, and Kamikaze comes out first as the lead jammer. Negative Nancy getting caught up by some E-Ville blockers on the inside. She goes out. Meanwhile, Kamikaze is approaching the back of the pack for her scoring pass. Negative Nancy still fighting her way through the front of that very evil wall. There goes Kamikaze for her scoring pass easily on the inside. Looked like E-Ville was fairly busy Red Deer was fairly busy trying to get out their jammer. Didn't see Kamikaze. Here she comes for her second scoring pass. A little bit of trouble from a couple of Red Deer blockers, but not too much as they get pulled out of play. She puts 5 more points on the board for another grand slam. Negative Nancy on her way back to the penalty box once again. She's having some penalty trouble early in this game. Some nice teamwork there at the end by Red Deer trying to force Kamikaze to come in the back of the pack, but she calls it off.
Well, we talked about it yesterday, but scratch and claw sometimes is the way that these games are played, and that looks to be what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, we've got Negative Nancy as a jammer back in the penalty box.
Maybe if she was a little more positive, these things wouldn't happen.
Tron jamming for E-Ville. She gets through very easily on the inside for lead jammer status.
And we're going to see the pack right now really mixing it up. E-Ville blockers really nicely spread out, but yet it does no advantage to Red Deer, as Red Deer was way too far out of play to try to make a stop on that.
That's what you want to do when you want to play offense and score some points. You want to mix it up. You want to break up any defensive lines you're seeing.
Well, let me retract that statement. Apparently they were just within play enough to be able to knock her out of bounds.
Looks like she thought they were out of bounds and she took a major cut.
And Negative Nancy is going to be released from the penalty box. And Negative Nancy just stuck in the middle of that. She's going to try to work herself to the front, and she does.
I just saw some really nice offensive blocking by Red Deer. Even though they're depleted by 2 players, they're really doing a good job of breaking up that Edmonton wall.
That was all blocker play. And right now you can see Edmonton trying to race, and then they stop. A little confused by that. Well, they decide that they're going to wall up. Generally speaking, when you want to stop a jammer in a situation like this, if you can skate faster and the other team's going to follow you, you want to match her speed, because then it's very difficult for that jammer to get through. But they are pounding the crap out of her.
Yeah, she's getting beat to the ground there by the E-Ville. We know that both Edmonton teams love to hit hard, and we're certainly seeing that right now.
Right now, your airplane luggage knows nothing compared to Negative Nancy. And Tron is out in front, and they signify another grand slam for her.
Things are getting really scrappy here so far, Bob.
Yep.
Both these teams want this third place spot very badly, I can tell.
Well, I'll tell you, what a great win for E-Ville on that particular jam. They end up being able to stop the Negative Nancy from the Belladonnas while Tron is sitting in the penalty box. Tron is released. She comes out, zips through, picks up 4 points, 4 very easy points, and helps extend this lead to 41-5.
That's exactly what you want to do when you're killing a penalty, Bob. You want to make sure your transitions are quick and precise. You have to keep an eye on where both jammers are in the box on the track.
And we're going to see Kamikaze out there right now, and she's skating for E-Ville, but it's going to be... Oh, that's got to be Gunpowder Gertie. You should recognize those glasses anywhere.
Her sporty goggles.
That's right. She used to fly a biplane. And Gunpowder Gertie is through that pack. No trouble at all. Not only she lead jammer, she's got a grand slam.
Nice work by E-Ville, and all the blockers getting her through. By Red Deer swallowing up those E-Ville blockers.
Maybe they didn't have breakfast.
Maybe.
Gunpowder Gertie doing exactly what she needs to do. She goes out there and she puts points up on the board. I believe that was 5.
No, it looks like she got 11 total. She made 2 passes there.
Sorry. 2 passes. To quote John Lovitz, that would be more, wouldn't it?
That's definitely more than the other one. But that was 11 very valuable points that Red Deer needed to stay in this game.
And it's Chariota Fire out there against Winnie the Poohtah. And Winnie the Poohtah is going to get through first. She is your lead jammer.
She's jammed a ton this weekend.
Yeah, she has. And Chariota Fire, who we didn't see jam much to start with, there you see her end up taking Cheeky down by accident.
Looked like she's taking a low block major for tripping Chariota Fire mid-stride.
But I tell you, I think you've probably noticed the same thing I have, and that is Chariota Fire's effectiveness has declined as the tournament has gone on as far as jamming. They're starting to figure out what she wants.
Yeah. She's a very aggressive skater, but it looks like maybe tournament play might be new to her. And she playing in a tournament, especially if you're playing 2 games in one day, you really need to maintain your energy level and eat properly and sleep properly and take care of your sore body. And sometimes you can pay the price if you're not doing all those things over the course of the weekend.
Well, I think part of the rest of it is the other teams are scouting you while you are skating. And I think she has a tendency to want that outside line, and they know that. And so they are absolutely badgering her on the outside. Right now we're going to see the 2 jammers take off again. And your lead jammer, she always does that. Your lead jammer is going to be Kamikaze. It's like, I could tightrope the inside line if I had to, but I don't. And Kamikaze, look at that. E-Ville doing a nice job of keeping the Red Deer blockers to the outside. Kamikaze is going to get her, well, they're going to say 3 points.
Looks like she may have passed someone out of bounds. She does not get the point for that.
That's right. If you want to gain a point, you have to pass the person legally. That means without a foul. That means they have to be in bounds. That means that they should be present in the building.
Yes.
That's
Somewhere.
always an important thing. Sometimes you'll see them go by and they'll go by 2 people and you go, well, how did they get 4 points out of that? It's because the minute they pass the very first opponent, very first blocker, they get points for anybody that is sitting in the penalty box. We call those ghost points.
We've got Moulin Bruce jamming for Red Deer. She's keeping up very well to Tron, who's in the lead.
Negative Nancy right there actually doing a very nice job on a singular block, forcing Tron to the inside. I think Tron got a little nervous about potentially being forced into a track cut, and she called off the jam.
She did. She actually stepped outside for a second, which probably prevented her from scoring that extra point. So it looks like she got 2 points out of that. 0 points for Red Deer.
And if you are new to roller derby and you're kind of wondering what's going on, I tell you what.
First of all, get a load of Coach Vegas's short shorts. We're seeing them on screen right now. They're really something to behold.
You, I have to say, are one of the best Segway announcers I've ever worked with.
Speaking of Segway, I'm going to take you guys over here on the floor. Andy and Bob, can you guys see me?
Hi, Rizke.
I see you. Hanging out with a couple Nelson locals. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. Great.
We got Kaiba and Jill Bate with me, and I saw you guys at the after party. How was that going on last night?
Pretty fun.
Yeah,
That was good.
it was awesome. Pretty fun. It was fantastic.
Yeah, well, the rest of you guys were at home sleeping. These two are partying it up and dancing. So, but you guys are both up early today because this is a 9 o'clock game. So, what do you guys think the outcome of this bout's going to be?
I think it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's they're playing very hard right now, and super excited about it.
And we're going to watch the championships. Excited for that?
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Let me guess who you're cheering for. Some locals here. Anyways, we'll bring it back to you guys. Very excited about the game coming up. So, see you guys then.
Thanks, Rizke. And that's Rizke Bisnatch out there for us.
So we're getting started here on this next jam. We've got Gunpowder Gertie lining up once again for Red Deer. Kamikaze jamming again for E-Ville. Got a few people in the box. E-Ville's got 1 blocker in the box. Red Deer's got 2. So we've got a pretty sparse pack out there. We'll see how that plays out. Kamikaze very easily out of the pack in corner 1 as lead jammer.
And you can see just coming into your pictures Gunpowder Gertie, who is not too far behind. And right now it's left to what's left of a very sparse pack. to try and stop some of this, and Kamikaze is going to get through. And she's going to help increase his E-Ville lead, I believe. And right now, we'll see the lines change.
Bazinga's jamming for Red Deer. She's normally a blocker, so we'll see. But she does jam occasionally, so we'll see how well she does. Blamming.
Simply because her name is Bazinga. And there we go. We've got a lead jammer already. We know who that is just from that move right there. That's Kamikaze.
Bazinga's still fighting her way through the front of that pack.
Oh, nice spin move. And you can see there Kamikaze's going to come around the outside as Bazinga's still trying to get free, not able to do it. Kamikaze's got a kind of this fun little inside leg lift she does over the inside line. Like she's teasing it.
She's hugging the corner with her whole body.
Yeah, exactly. On one foot. Now, that is something that I've done many times, but never on purpose.
So Kamikaze picked up 5 points there for, she got a grand slam because she passed the other jammer.
Now we're going to see what's more of a scrum start. When they take the knee like this, they are actually out of play. There is no pack, and it allows the jammers to be released on the first whistle instead of having to go on two. And
some great teamwork by Red Deer. They're pushing their fellow teammates around, making sure they're getting in the way.
Holding on for their lives and their uniforms. And Chariot of Fire going to chase her as far as she can, but that's going to be Winnie the Pooh who's going to be your lead jammer. And back in the pack, still fighting to get out, is going to be Gunpowder Gertie. Oh, Winnie the Pooh taking a big hit. I tell you, we haven't seen people forced all the way out to the barriers too often this weekend.
Looks like D-Vicious is going to go spend some time in the box. She's been spending quite a bit of time out there.
Oh, come on. That's gotta... It could never be a good call if D-Vicious ends up in the box. That's sarcasm, of course.
She's a very aggressive player, and sometimes being very aggressive has its consequences. But she's also a very skilled blocker, so it's the price
absolutely.
You pay. Looks like Winnie the Pooh is sitting in the box for a 1-minute penalty. So with this, will give Red Deer the power play they so badly need.
That's Moulin Bruise who's out there doing it. Moulin Bruise getting it done. She's had a pretty good weekend. They don't use her a lot, but when they do, she's been very effective. Right now you see Red Deer lining up on the outside, looking to initially force a split pack, then they change their mind. The pack is split, then they cannot actually touch the jammer legally. And we're going to see Moulin Bruise off to the races. Let's see, that's 4 digits at an opposable thumb. I would say that is a grand slam for Moulin Bruise.
A couple of grand slams, a couple of power plays, and that's going to get them back neck and neck with Red Deer, with E-Ville here.
And nice job by the E-Ville blockers up front. Couldn't tell who it was that flew in there and shook things up. They spring Moulin Bruise. And in the meantime, Winnie the Pooh back out on the track. And she's got another major track cut. She has passed at least 2 players on the outside. And she has to go sit down and spend a minute thinking about it. That jam's going to be over with.
Moulin Bruise was calling the jam off before Winnie the Pooh had gotten sent to the box, so, oh, she's not in the box.
Well, it makes sense.
Then, yeah.
Good work by the officiating crew.
Absolutely.
That's not an easy one to. Call out. So
No.
the jam was essentially stopped before the penalty was committed. So thus, it never really happened.
So Red Deer has 2 blockers in the box.
And Tron is off to the races, as you can see right there.
Red Deer's got their work cut out for them trying to stop Tron. She's a very powerful blocker, and they've only got 2 blockers out there.
Oh, she is through very, very quickly. Totally untouched. You saw the inside line was left wide open.
And that pack is almost at a complete standstill right now.
Oh, that's just a bruising. And Cheerio out of fire comes in trying to shake up some of these E-Ville blockers, trying to get her jammer free. But we're going to get another grand slam out of Tron. She is a machine. In fact, she could be a video game.
That's right. There she goes again on the inside. Some great offensive blocking. The E-Ville blockers clearing out the Red Deer players completely out of the way on the inside line for her. Looks like we've got Bazinga back in the pack as the jammer, but Tron calls it off just in time before anything else can happen.
And boy, did they have Bazinga's number, which is 222. But she couldn't get through for anything. She just completes her first pass, gets out of the pack, as we see Tron call it off. I'm not sure how many Grand Slams Tron had there, but it was a number of them.
Looks like 4.
That would be 20. That's a lot of points. If I could skate for a year and score 20 points in the whole season, I'd be happy.
Well, when you've got great offensive blockers playing for you, it makes it easier.
Yep, and we're going to see Taz out there jamming this time for the Belladonnas, as well as Kamikaze. And this time, Red Deer's going to get Jazz through there very quickly. And Taz is going to be your lead jammer.
Nice work by Taz. A little footwork in and out there, getting through those 2 E-Ville blockers very easily. She's a veteran player. You can tell she's very confident there. Member of Team Canada last year for the World Cup in Toronto.
And as we see Taz take a seat, we're going to watch Moulin Bruise line up at the jammer line. Winnie the Pooh. Unfortunately, we understand that Christopher Robinson could not be here today.
Yes,
but he sends his well wishes. Eeyore's totally confused by this whole thing.
Wow, great move by Moulin Bruise on the outside there. She just ducked and dipped her way around that blocker.
We're pretty sure she opened up a wormhole in the time-space continuum. And you can see her coming around right now. She's already going on her scoring passes. Winnie the Pooh is just going to come out of the pack. And this time, not going to be so easy. Moulin Bruise got through easy the first time around, but she's going to have to call up the jam without any points scored. Except 1.
Hey, 1-0. That's better than 0.
That's right. Booker says, yeah, she got 1 out of that. And that's a shot we really don't need to focus on. I'm not a director.
Oh, there you go. Waist up, boys. Waist up.
That's right. This is a family show.
And those are not family shorts.
No. Those must be his special winning shorts.
Oh, good. Now he's crouching.
I wonder if he's got his rally underwear on, which means it's turned backwards. He's got to be very, very uncomfortable. John out there right now.
We got Bazinga jamming for Red Deer.
And Bazinga getting Bazinga'd and bounced and everything else all over the place. But she's going to cut through the E-Ville jammers, and she's got 1 more to go. And surprisingly, they turn around and let her go. I think she thought that she was further out than she was.
Yeah, they had a couple more feet left there to get her, but they decided they need to focus on something else in the pack, which is not a bad idea.
And that's okay. And look at that, Bazinga with a nice inside run as the Belladonnas open up the inside lane.
Yeah, they had the inside lane completely occupied and totally distracted the E-Ville blockers.
And we are going to see a star pass. Now, Jammer can only pass that star to the pivot, and Kamikaze is the one who ends up with the star. It's kind of a sneaky play if it's pulled off correctly. And you can always tell who the pivot is because they have that stripe on their helmet.
We've got Cheeky lining up for the first time for E-Ville. She took some time off for most of last year, I think, and before that she was mainly a jammer, I think, from what I remember. Very good jammer.
Yeah, I believe you are correct.
But now she's also an incredibly talented blocker most of the time.
And she's cheeky.
She is cheeky. She's actually not. She's actually very polite and soft-spoken.
As I get to talk to my cohorts at Roller Derby Radio out in Lincolnshire, UK, they use the word cheeky a lot. I just smile back where I am, hoping that That's not a bad thing about me.
No, it's usually a good thing.
I know. And as they cross the pivot line, we're going to see both jammers take off. And right now, look at that. We've got a pile up. And
Cheeky fighting for the outside, but Taz makes it through the middle of the pack at just before turn 3. She's lead jammer.
And I tell you, Taz with that incredible footwork and that ability to accelerate into that next gear so quickly is off to the races.
She picks up 2 points in the back there. She passed the first blocker in the back, which gives her 1 point, and the other team had a blocker in the box, which gives her the other point.
And I can tell you this, Andy can tell you this, anybody who knows me can tell you this, I am not a mathematician. But as I take a look at the score, 79-44, that's been closed up an awful lot.
It sure has. E-Ville looked like they might have been running away with it in the beginning of this period, but as we wind up this period at the end, the Belladonnas are really fighting their way back.
And Kamikaze decides she's going to run away with it as she's through the pack in a very short period of time. We're going to see Gunpowder Gertie out there. And Kamikaze, she leans into the first corner. She calls off the jam. I think maybe not quite sure whether or not she was forced to the inside or not. And she does what she feels is going to be the safest thing to do, and that is to stop play.
Now we've got the dwindling seconds left in this first period. We may or may not be able to get a jam in. We'll see.
We thought that once yesterday.
We were really wrong. And that's the end of the period. The refs say, we've had enough. Let's go take a 10-minute break.
Right. And you know, I've been looking at the the timing official out there, trying to figure out what was wrong with his forehead, and then I realized he had one of those mustaches.
Yeah, some of
on his head.
Some of the more active non-skating officials in the Pacific Northwest and Western United States like to wear pink mustaches to show their support for one another. Okay, looks like Risque Biznatch has a player from E-Ville about to go into the dressing room. Take it away, Snatchy.
Hi, guys. I'm here with Cheeky, captain for E-Ville. How do you feel the game's going so far?
I think we're a bit frantic and we're not playing our game right now. We're getting in penalty trouble, so we have to clean it up for the second half.
So you guys have a chance to kind of meet in the changing room and give a bit of a pep talk. What do you think you're going to talk to the team about?
I think we're just going to have everyone take a few deep breaths and calm down and just get back to playing our style.
Perfect. Well, good luck with that, and we'll see you in the second period. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
And thanks, Risque. And I believe with that, what do you say we take 10 minutes?
I like that idea.
I do too. We're going to give everybody 10 minutes. I tell you what, you want to go back to your refrigerator, you want to go get yourself something to eat, get your bowl of cereal, depends on where you're at. It might be 5 o'clock somewhere. Go ahead, grab something to drink. Or have a nice bowl of Holy Crap. And, of course, we want to thank Holy Crap, one of our sponsors, and breakfast cereal made right at the Paradise, made in Paradise on British Columbia Sunshine Coast. Find out more at www.holycrap.ca.
Holy crap, if you need a spokesmodel, we've got one here for you.
Is there anything she couldn't spokesmodel? No.
Probably not. All right, folks, we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Back for the second half of this game, the Red Deer Belladonnas versus Edmonton's Evil Dead here at Clash in the Kootenays in beautiful Nelson, BC.
Get that camera out of my face! Camera out of my face! Second jam of all time, baby, holding that line. Woo, feels good. First bout. Amazing!
It's not just about the shorts. It's about inspiring others. It's about having fun and making new friends. It's about getting hit down and getting back up again. It's about being a team. Pivot Star. It's about roller derby.
We change what it is to be a beautiful woman.
They're gladiators. They're more gladiators than any other sport that I've ever seen.
The part about it that is so amazing and feminine is the finesse.
There's something about roller derby that changes people. And I think it's usually for the better. I just hope it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Hello, I'm Risque Biznatch, and I'm here with Fluster Cluck, coach of the Belladonnas. So you guys had a timeout, right? Or you guys had halftime?
Yep.
What was the discussion that happened?
Well, we noticed that towards the end of the second half, we started to figure out exactly what they were doing, so we just developed a couple of strategies to make sure that we can counter that. And, I mean, we're only down by less than 40 points, so we're quite certain that we can pull it together in the second half. We've always been a second half team, so we're pretty confident we're going to be able to come through on top on this one.
Perfect. And how's the team feeling in the change room?
They feel really good. They always feel really good. It's a really positive team. Even yesterday when we were facing off against the Cannibals, it was a really tough game, but everybody was happy the whole time. So I'm sure that we're going to stay positive.
Good luck in this half, in this game.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Risque Biznatch. As she is talking to Coach, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I'm afraid I'm going to get us into trouble. I'll get it wrong.
Fluster Club. Fluster Club.
And we're going to see things get started right now.
Starting at the second half, we've got E-Ville Dead from Edmonton wearing green jerseys. They are at 82 points. Red Deer's Belladonnas wearing purple at 44 points.
And look at Taz. She's just going to put her shoulder down and drive through that front two wall. And she is going to be your lead jammer. Tron, in the meantime, trailing behind. And you can see right now where Taz is going to enter. Oh, does she take a shot?
Dragster Dolly basically cleaned her clock.
That's right. They call her the vaccinator because anytime you get near her, she's going to give you a shot. I believe that was her arm booster.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Taz was able to pick up the point off that hit. Unfortunately, that would have been a nice result, but wasn't able to pass her hips in time. The referees count points by when the jammers pass the other blocker's hips. So it's not their feet or their head, it's hips.
And Winnie the Pooh and Gunshot Gertie trying to work themselves through this scrum pack. And look at that. Winnie the Pooh is going to find some room on the inside. Winnie the Pooh is going to be out first. She's your lead jammer.
Yeah, it looks like the whole pack got pretty carried away with getting Gunpowder Gertie out on the outside line, leaving a huge opening on the inside for Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, good Lord. Look at E-Ville absolutely clearing the whole. They swept the entire Red Deer Belladonna pack to the outside of the third and fourth turns, leaving a wide open space for them to pick up some parts.
Moulin Bruise wearing the star for Red Deer in this jam.
And we're going to see Kamikaze.
Kami starting behind Moulin Bruise, which is not something you normally see with jammers. Moulin Bruise getting knocked to the inside. The blockers pulling backwards to make sure that she has to come in well behind the pack, slowing her pace down quite a bit.
And both teams doing a nice job. And they are going to run Kami out. They are going to run Kami outside the boundaries. She's going to have to sit down. Oh, what a horrible break for Red Deer, as Moulin Bruise also has to take a seat. That's going to spring Kami.
Looks like Moulin Bruise picked up her fourth minor, which sends her to the box. Kamikaze right back in the game, quickly coming out front of the pack. Unfortunately, because she went to the box, she cannot get lead jammer status.
And Moulin Bruise through there quite quickly on the inside line. She's not picked up any points yet.
This is going to be a full 2-minute jam, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. There has been no lead jammer to come through this.
Once you are sent to the penalty box, you are no longer eligible to become lead jammer.
Oh, Moulin Bruise absolutely muscled to the outside by number 31. That's going to be Peaches. That's an awfully nice name for somebody that hits that hard.
I know. It's deceptive.
Yes.
Kamikaze winding her way through a couple of Red Deer blockers. She managed to split them up, so they're less powerful on their own than they are in pairs. She's got 5 points in the sky there. 4 points for Moulin Rouge as she finally gets her way out of the pack.
And Evil Dead gonna walk away victors in this particular jam.
Now, if you're new to Derby, you may be wondering why those jammers only spent a few seconds in the box each. Like Bob said earlier, there always has to be at least one jammer on the track at all times. So if both jammers get sent to the box, as soon as the second jammer shows up in the box, the first one is released. The second jammer only has to spend the exact same amount of time that the first jammer spent to make it fair for everyone.
That is correct. And we got Taz, who comes off the line. She's through there like a shot. She's out there in a hurry. Tron is spun to the inside of the track. And look at that. Oh, perfect shot on your screen, too, as Taz is able to hold on to a teammate to stay inside of bounds. And that's going to help her put a big 5 points up on the board for Red Deer. And if you might be new watching roller derby at home, let me extend this invitation to you. You can Twitter me at MadRollinBob, MadRollinBob, with your question. And when I get back to the States, I'll answer it for you.
I don't do the Twitter, Bob, but I have a Facebook account, Andy Striction number 10. You can find me. I'm all about Canadian roller derby. I'm also a member of the cast of a great podcast called Derby Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. We talk about news in derby, what's going on, a little strategy.
You're actually talking to people who work with two of the biggest radio shows in roller derby.
That's right.
I work with Roller Derby Radio, which is actually broadcast live out of the UK, which we also podcast. And Andy and I have yet to fight at all.
Yeah. Maybe if I turn up at the after party.
I'm actually going back to Spokane.
Really?
Yes.
That's not too far from here, is it? Everything's far from everywhere in Canada.
About 3.5 hours.
Well, it's not bad. I'm going back to Vancouver. It's about 9 hours.
I'm going back to Spokane. That's not where I live. That's just where I find the next leg of the trip tomorrow afternoon. And we're going to see Red Deer take a knee. By doing so, that puts them out of play. That means there is no pack, and they release the jammers on the first whistle instead of running 2 whistles.
Looked like Winnie the Pooh there was going to be able to get around the outside, but she's getting hung up in the front by the Red Deer blockers, and Gunpowder Gertie manages to sneak through.
Well, and you can see that so perfectly on your screen as she runs up the inside and then gets shut down. Winnie the Pooh, that is, and Gunpowder Gertie taking the outside route. Oh! And you know what? That's probably a league. No? Is that going to be... I think there's going to be a little conversation on this. I'm not so sure all 4 whistles. Nope. I don't think they're going to levy a penalty.
No, it wouldn't have been a penalty. You cannot hit somebody after the end of jam whistle, but it looked like she was initiating that block before the end of the first set of whistles, so it was legal. Right on the edge, though.
Yep. Once the jammer calls off the jam, the refs have to blow 4 very quick consecutive whistles before it is actually ended. Oh, Moulin Rouge, I tell you, doing her best Michael Jackson, not able to stick the landing.
She was just getting pinballed around in the front of the pack there. There goes Cheeky. She looks like she was out first, but got a major track cut and is being sent to the penalty box, which will give Red Deer another valuable power play for a full minute.
And this is perfect for Red Deer because they really have not let E-Ville put up, even though they haven't put up many points, they haven't had to put up a lot of points. Little confused as to Cheeky's in and out of there so quickly.
I'm not sure why she was released from the penalty box. Oh, no, that's not why.
I'm guessing she wasn't supposed to be there. Sometimes that'll happen. They'll level a penalty, and it's very difficult for the girls inside of those packs to know exactly who they're calling out. So I have a feeling maybe one of the blockers was supposed to, or we see the pivot sitting down there right now. Maybe she got blown out of the play and Cheeky thought it was her. Unfortunate for E-Ville.
I distinctly saw a signal being her sent to the box, but I could be wrong.
It looked like it.
Looks like both teams have one blocker apiece in the box. Pivot for E-Ville, blocker for Red Deer.
And as it gets started, Taz trying to motor through on the inside, and Tron's going to try to take the outside, and both of them are going to get run all over the place. But right now, Taz, you can see jumping around, always keeps those feet moving, but she falls. Oh, man. She is just getting slaughtered by the E-Ville blockers.
Tron's not having much luck either with the Red Deer blockers. Drag step Dolly just taking a piece out of Taz.
Oh. And then D-Vicious, who we talked about earlier. I don't think we've seen as many knockdowns in some bouts as we've seen in just this first few laps of this jam.
Definitely the hardest hitting game I've seen so far this weekend.
D-Vicious just brutal.
Oh, Taz finally out of the penalty box. Unfortunately, because of all that kerfuffle, she probably picked up a minor penalty as not lead jammer. And I bet she's saying, thank God that's over for now.
Yeah, no kidding. Tough love giving her a little bit of that before she's able to get through.
Tron also not called lead jammer. We're going to have a full 2-minute jam, but we've got 50 seconds left.
I'm not sure either one of them wants that.
Nobody wants a full minute of that abuse.
Oh, look at that. They're going to have, they have Taz absolutely walled up at the back. Then Tron's got the whole outside lane wide open. Not what Red Deer needed at the moment. And as talented a player as Taz is, that goes to show you how good the E-Ville blocking is. And look at that! Tron is going to take a little skip step over the apex. That's 5 points. That's a grand slam.
Red Deer has 2 blockers in the penalty box. So they're going to have a challenge fighting these 4 E-Ville blockers.
Well, fortunately, Tron is going to end up falling down, sliding to the inside. And that's going to be your 2 minutes. Jeff DeMiss coming up to Taz, I think, probably telling her, don't get so frustrated.
We usually like to keep this show PG-13, Bob, but that last jam was rated R for extreme violence.
Good call.
Looks like Captain Gunpowder Gertie and Coach Flustercluck are discussing some things with the ref in the middle there.
And we've got a track cut being levied on somebody. Might have been a minor.
Winnie the Puda from E-Ville is out first. She's the lead jammer.
Poor Jeff DeMiss sitting here trying to work with the people from the statisticians while the rest of the officials start the jam. Winnie the Puta ends up taking a fall right there. She's going to get... That's Timber. Oh, Timber lays the lumber right there. And Winnie the Puta says, that's enough.
She attempted to call it off there, but it looks like she got a major low block penalty in the course of it and gets sent to the penalty box.
She got hit by Timber and then rolled in front of her.
Tripped her up.
And it doesn't matter whether it's purposeful or by mistake, they're always going to call that because it cannot be encouraged. Oh, and unfortunately for Red Deer, that's going to be Gunpowder Gertie, who had a power jam.
She gets sent off her 4th minor, which means Winnie the Puda gets to come back in and play some more.
Which means she either needs to start checking IDs or making sure that the lights on those helmets mean a little bit more to her.
Red Deer's just having their way with Winnie the Puda right now. Meanwhile, Gunpowder Gertie goes around the outside completely unnoticed, as E-Ville has 2 blockers in the box.
Oh, look at that. Winnie the Puda was totally walled up. They had her, wow, in a 3-wall. We see Cheeky collide with the pivot for Red Deer.
Gunpowder Gertie makes her way through for 4 more points.
Oh, that was Cheeky and Timber. Timber does not go down easy.
Looks like both teams want to call a timeout. But Fluster Cluck from Red Deer gets his shot at it.
Well, that's actually a nice break for E-Ville.
I see Risque Biznatch over there.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. I'm here with a Derby fan, Elora. How's it going?
Good.
So, who's your favorite team?
Lumberjackies.
Perfect. And how do you like the tournament so far?
It's good.
Are you looking forward to the championships?
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you play roller derby yourself?
In junior derby.
And what position do you play?
Blocker. I'm blocker.
And do you like blocking?
Yeah.
And do you roller skate everywhere?
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere, but a lot of places, possibly.
Risky, well, who's your favorite player, Risky?
Who's your favorite player?
That's a tough one. Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Risky. And, of course, her favorite team is the Lumberjacks. The Lumberjacks being one of the home teams for the Kootenai.
Lumberjackies, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm a lumberjacky and I don't care?
You're a lumberjack.
I'm a lumberjacky and I don't care. I sleep all night. See, it doesn't work the same, does it? Oh, and I'm okay. That's the problem. Got my Monty Python mixed up.
We got Red Deer taking a knee there on the line to make sure they get things started. They would like to get Moulin Brews out ASAP. Doesn't quite work for them as E-Ville gets their jammer out first.
Yeah,
again, it's
Winnie the Pooh.
I'm surprised she's still on her feet after those last couple
I
jams.
know. Well, she sits down, has a little bit of honey, and she's ready to go. And Winnie the Pooh, look at that, the inside lane wide open. That's going to give her a grand slam.
Moulin Brews looked like she was going to try and sneak around the outside, but she got a couple of good hits that pushed her right out of bounds.
And Winnie the Pooh looking to put a little more hurt on Red Deer. Red Deer this time is going to wall up. They're going to wall up very tightly. She's going to try and work the inside. She continues to work it, and she's going to get through. And right now, Winnie the Pooh on one heck of a run. And that's not easy. That was Taz she had to get by.
This is a very fast pack, Bob. Both these teams not letting too much get by them.
And Moulin Brews earning a lot of them today. So Red Deer are going to get 1 point out of that. Looks like it's going to be 4 for the Evil Dead.
That's a total of 13 points for E-Ville in that jam. Moulin Brews managing to pick up 1 point for Red Deer.
It's one thing to be evil, but to be dead at the same time, that frightens me. I'm a scared.
I know.
And Tron and Gunpowder Gertie. Gunpowder Gertie with a nice burst to the outside. Looked like she's going to get close. She does. Gunpowder Gertie's going to be your lead jammer.
Tron's still stuck in the back there behind 3 Red Deer blockers. Timber trying to slow her down a little bit, but doesn't help. Tron is a very solid skater. She's difficult to knock down.
Gunpowder Gertie there. Oh, she shakes off 2 nice hits. She's going to get a no pass, no point call. One of the girls she passed that actually tried to hit her was out of bounds, so that point will not count. But actually, a very, very nice run by Gunpowder Gertie. And I'll tell you, this game really hasn't shifted a whole lot. Red Deer is still very much in this. And we call this announcer math back in the States. When we actually try to give you a score, and that would be, it looks like a 57-point difference.
I'm not even going to try. E-Ville has more points than Red Deer. That's my math. 126 to 69 the score is right now. We've got 14 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second period.
I'm still trying to get used to Looney because that's what I've been called for a long time. I had no idea it was a coin.
Both these teams look like they've dialed up the intensity in the second half here. Clearly some serious pep talks in the dressing room happened a few minutes ago.
I wonder if they're really pep talks. A pep talk to me would be like, I don't know, like Richard Simmons coming in and doing jumping jacks and saying really nice things about you.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if I planted a Richard Simmons image in everybody's head. And we've got Bazinga out there as well as Kamikaze. And Kami is off to the races.
Bazinga not too far behind. She's got less than half a track to catch up.
And Kami with a nice move from the inside to the out. And yeah, I don't blame her. She's calling off that jam, waiting for the 4 whistles. And she's going to get the full set of points. And they do get it called off in time to shut Red Deer down.
Doesn't always happen right away, although you'd like it to.
Yeah. We need hip sensors.
Or like a buzzer you just carry around with you. And when you want to end it, you just go bzzzt, and it shocks the jam ref.
I like that.
No, I don't think they'd like that
I don't think they would, but I think that's kind of a cool idea. As we're going to see Gunpowder Gertie right now trying to work herself through the pack. She gets up towards the front, then she gets shut down and ends up towards the back. We're going to see Winnie the Pooh out there one more time.
I think the big difference so far that I'm seeing in this game, Bob, is that E-Ville is managing to get lead jammer almost every jam.
Yeah,
which gives them serious advantage because both these teams are very evenly matched in terms of aggression, speed, fitness, track awareness, all that stuff. I think the big
the pile up at the end, that's 2 teammates, and that's what happens.
But I think the big difference is that E-Ville is managing to get their blockers out. I mean, their jammers out first. So they have control, they're in the lead, and they're calling it off in time. So they're getting 4 points here, 8 points here, and that's increasing their lead little by little as this game progresses.
We see Gunpowder Gertie a little animated. Keeps her cool enough, though. And Moulin Rouge, she's going to find a hole to the inside, and she is gone. Oh.
Banana peel. Sometimes you catch a weird angle in that corner, and you slip out for no reason.
Yeah, Kami and that's a good call, too. I'm assuming that's going to be a major back block.
Peaches took a huge hit on Moulin Rouge there as she was going around that corner, which forced her to call it off very smartly, but
that would be called a advantageous foul.
Yeah. Looks like she picked up 3 points in that last jam.
Or a good foul, maybe. Well, you hate to see a back block. That's always kind of dangerous.
Yeah. It is illegal to hit someone in the back between the shoulder blades. It's a minor penalty if there isn't much damage, but if the player that's been hit is off course in a major way or falls down, it's a major penalty.
And both jammers fighting. Taz is going to come out ahead, but not by much, as Winnie the Pooh is right on her tail. And I have a feeling that this could be one of those scenarios, Andy, where we see Red Deer just kind of go for it. No. She's going to take maybe 2. Yep, 3. They're going to give her 2 or 3? I'm not sure how the thumb works.
3. The thumb counts, Bob.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So she ends up getting a couple of, she gets 1, maybe 2 ghost points by passing. I love it when the various pivot and jammer helmet covers just go flying around. And we see Gunpowder Gertie out there one more time, as well as Kami.
Kamikaze knew something happened.
Yeah.
She's going to the box.
Yeah. Kami's going to end up going to the penalty box. This is good news for Red Deer, except for that. Good Lord.
She got the kiss of death by Kiss of Beth there. Ran her right over.
Wow. That would be a holy crap moment right there.
She is finally through after a couple of giant collisions for lead jammer.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Red Deer decides to deal with this.
Keeping it very slow, which is exactly what you want to do when you've got a power play.
I'll tell you, that was Kiss of Beth again, I believe, that was able to stop her. And when they've got four blockers to 2 out there?
There's not much you can do, so good for them.
Yeah, that was perfectly timed. So that was a very hard-earned Grand Slam. And it also kills enough time that it's going to give E-Ville yet another blocker out there. Although she's not quite aware of where Gunpowder Gritty was, but it's not going to matter as Gunpowder Gritty ends up running into another E-Ville blocker.
Just saw a big hit, blocker to blocker. Gigi Von Rollher, a huge shoulder block on an opposing player, but she was traveling in the clockwise direction. You are not allowed to make contact with any other players if you are not traveling in a forward counterclockwise direction.
Yeah, and that's one of those calls that can seem kind of confusing because you're like, well, clockwise, that would be pretty obvious. Well, when you come through the turns at a certain angle, you only have to turn your shoulders enough.
You're already going clockwise.
That you actually are moving clockwise just a little bit. And we see Moulin Bruce there fighting her way up towards the front. Moulin Bruce is going to get through, and she's going to get a very important lead jam for Red Deer at this point.
Looks like Kamikaze is thinking about joining her pack to start getting some points on the board for E-Ville.
And Moulin Bruce sees it coming, and right now E-Ville's got those. They've got that 2-wall up there that has just been unbelievable. And look at this, they're going to try it up the inside. They do. Kami, oh my.
She's still on her initial pass, though. She has yet to score any points. Moulin Bruce is on her scoring pass, so if things go her way, she should be calling it off anytime soon. And she does.
And if you hear us talk about transitional play, that's what we're talking about. Transitioning like you talk about it in basketball from offense to defense. The thing is, in roller derby, you're oftentimes, if you're really good at it, you're doing it at the same time. You saw perfect transition in that very last play as they are able to hold up, as E-Ville holds up the one jammer, knows their jammer's on the inside line and opens the door. That was fabulous. And Taz is going to take off here. But speaking of take off, that's going to be cheeky.
Yep, E-Ville opened up a little hole for her, and she took complete advantage of it. Two E-Ville blockers really going to town on Taz there. She's having a really hard time getting through.
She's having a hard time getting through. That time, Cheeky on her scoring run gets run to the inside. She's not going to have... I don't know that she's picked up any plays. Now she's going to find some space on the inside. That wasn't cheeky. That was scrappy.
Cheeky's got really nice speed control, something you really want to have as a jammer. You got to know when to slow down, and when you see that opportunity, you got to be able to speed up right now.
And right now when you get stopped like that, the key is to keep those legs moving. It's almost like a running back in football trying to power through that offensive and defensive line. And Cheeky with a beautiful, beautiful stride. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a chance to see her jam into open concrete very often here this evening. Nice little duck under at the end. That gives Nitro Nikki no chance of landing anything on her.
E-Ville's doing an amazing job in this jam, playing both defense and offense. They know exactly where Cheeky is when she approaches the pack. They're clogging up every single lane to avoid Taz getting through, but also opening up when Cheeky comes through.
That's right. Right now, I think Red Deer needs a plumber.
It's pretty clogged up out there.
Yeah.
Taz finally gets through. She gets 4 points, her first 4 points in this jam. Cheeky's got 14 points already, and she calls it off. The solid lead. That puts us at 151 for E-Ville to Red Deer Belladonna's 90 points. Still a relatively close game, Bob.
Yeah, it's funny because it seems like when we watch this that most of what's going on is to E-Ville's advantage, but yet Red Deer scores enough points to stay well within striking distance. And we can honestly say that 61 points inside of 5 minutes is really far from impossible.
Kamikaze
And
doing
Tron.
some damage in the pack now instead of
Is that
blocking.
the negative Nancy?
Yeah, we haven't seen her on the track in a while. She did go to the box quite a few times in the first period.
Yeah, coach opted to sit her down a little bit. Look at that. Right there, Red Deer's going to open up the whole inside line. That's negative Nancy for a grand slam. That's a natural grand slam as we've got the other jammer out on the track. And right now they are just working a clinic on Tron. Negative Nancy out there to do what they want her to do and need her to do. That's a second grand slam.
Red Deer loves it. They should. E-Ville's got 2 blockers in the box. They're taking full advantage of the
And
situation.
Tron is on the ground. And that's a third grand slam. That's 15 points already. And we're only halfway through the jam clock should she decide to continue. That's going to be 4. Oh, my. And Tron looks absolutely bewildered. There's a lot of fight in that dog, but there's no fight there right now. And look at that. Negative Nancy going to come through to the inside, and she's going to get another. Is she?
Well, it looks like she got knocked to the inside.
And she decides not to call it off. But there, she's going to go back through, and she's going to get it.
Might as well. They've got Tron locked down in there.
That is 25 points. And as I had now I feel so smart about what I said before.
Well, you are smart, Bob.
I don't know. And she's going to get run out of bounds there. But I'll tell you. And
Tron's decided she wants to play some defense.
Now, what you may or may not have gotten to see on that was Tron and Negative Nancy just give each other a big smile as Tron knocks her to the ground. But
that was impressive work by Red Deer.
Oh my goodness.
I think this deserves a holy crap, Bob.
Oh, that is a holy crap. Holy crap, it's the world's most amazing breakfast cereal made in paradise on the British Columbia Sunshine Coast. Find out more at www.holycrap.ca. And we're going to see Winnie the Pooh out there. And things have changed. We have a 32-point game.
Unfortunately for Red Deer, their hard work in the last jam might not pay off as well as they thought. Gunpowder Gertie's going to the box for her 4th minor.
She's indicating she's got 4 minors. And that might have been a mistake right there from the coaching standpoint or the communication standpoint between her and the coach. She probably should not have gone out there at that point. That could be very costly.
We'll see if E-Ville can cash in on that. Winnie the Pooh finally fighting her way through 3 Red Deer blockers. Not an easy task.
And that's going to give her a grand slam. That's 5 points.
Red Deer lining up to make a big giant wall.
Excuse me?
And I'm just going to blast through 4 blockers here.
That
no
was
big
a
deal.
solid wall.
It was. She got a little help from her pivot there, which was probably welcomed, but she found that hole and she bounced right through it.
That was like a wet paper towel wall that got hit by a butcher knife.
Winnie the Pooh calls it off after getting a couple of solid hits on the outside.
Gigi Von Roller, I believe, is going to get it. Yeah, she's going to sit down as that block. It continued out of bounds and then was levied one more time once they were out of bounds. They frown on that.
Yeah, you cannot engage a player if you've engaged them on the track. Once they travel out, you have to relinquish engagement.
Yeah, give it up too.
You are also not allowed to engage a player as you travel from out of bounds into bounds. You have to establish your spot on the track before you can engage somebody.
That's right. And if you're going to get engaged during a bout, please do it at halftime. And there we see Kami off to the races. And unfortunately for Red Deer, It was a nice push, an exciting moment, but it came it's a little too late.
Only a few more seconds left in this bout. My heart's still racing.
Oh, what an exciting run we saw there. She's watching, and Kami sees that the period clock goes down to 0. She calls off the jam. That's going to seal an E-Ville victory.
She takes a bow. She deserves it, getting some love from the crowd.
She knows where the cameras are.
She seems quite shy, Bob.
Yeah.
She should work on her social
Actually,
skills.
although, isn't it surprising how many people would find that most roller derby girls are fairly shy?
Yeah, I think we've got a good
I shouldn't
mix.
say most, but a lot of them.
A lot of people expect big, loudmouth, tattooed, beer-drinking women, but we got some of those, but we got some shrinking violets. We've got some shy flowers, too.
Rizke Biznatch not being one of them.
No, I wouldn't call her shy. I call her a lot of other nice things, but shy is not one of them.
No, I forgot she could hear me.
So we've got Red Deer Belladonnas getting some high fives from their fellow Alberta opponents, Evil Dead from Edmonton.
Remember that Richard Simmons comment I made before? I can't help but look at Fluster Cluck and think maybe there was a little Richard Simmons influence in that halftime.
I don't think it was an accident. So it looks like our final score is going to be Evil Dead 170, Red Deer Belladonnas 120.
And I think Rizke's out there going to see if she can't get an interview for us. And we're going to throw it over to Rizke Biznatch, and Rizke looks like she's got Winnie the Pooh with her.
Yeah, I've got Winnie the Pooh. How did that feel?
It was exhausting.
Yeah, you've had some amazing jams out there and had to work really hard for some power jams. What were your blockers doing for you?
They were trying to make me some good holes. They were encouraging me to get to the inside. So I tend to try to go to the outside, which is not always a great idea. But yeah, it was intense. We worked hard for every point that we got out there.
Definitely, and I know that the Belladonna has adjusted a little bit to the play. How was that on the track when they were kind of making hard walls, basically for jammers to get through?
Well, we definitely felt that in the second half a lot, and they were always right here on the line. So it's like, okay, where do I go? But yeah, we made it work.
Perfect. Are you guys going to go celebrate now?
We're going to get in the van, 15 of us, and drive a really, really far long ways back to Edmonton.
Are you guys going to watch the championships before you leave?
Not going to be able to, no, because we got babies to get back to and all that real life stuff. That's no fun.
Back to real life stuff. Well, thank you very much and congratulations. So, okay. And very excited for the next game that's going on.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. 11:30 Pacific time. We've got the championship game here at Clash in the Kootenays. That's going to be Vancouver's Terminal City All-Stars versus the West Kootenay Women's Roller Derby League Kootenay Cannibals. We've seen some amazing teamwork from both of these teams, both very conditioned, very fit. TCRG, of course, the more experienced team, being part of the WFTDA, but that doesn't mean that the Kootenays aren't going to put up the fight. They are very experienced playing within the boundaries of BC and Alberta. They've been working really hard to get where they are in a really quick way, so I think it's going to be a really good matchup.
Well, I think they're very similar styles of teams, and I think that's what's going to make it so exciting. So as you said, we are back at 11:30. That was my mistake before. I believe I said 11 o'clock. So you got a little extra time. Now you can walk the dog, get yourself something to eat. See, by that time, too, at 11:30, the rest of the world will be afternoon. You can have as many drinks as you want.
Absolutely.
There you go. And
or sodas.
Yeah. Whatever it is that quenches that thirst that is deep down inside. And with that, I have no idea where I'm going.
So we are part of Canuck Derby TV. Make sure you come back to CanuckDerbyTV.com and join us. Tell your friends if they want to see some of the best roller derby action in Canada, CanuckDerbyTV.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in about an hour.
At 11:30.